After weeks of speculation, heated debates, and jaw-dropping action sequences, Dragon Ball DAIMA Episode 20 has finally arrived, marking the grand finale of this ambitious spin-off. However, despite the anticipation, the conclusion has left many fans with mixed feelings. While the episode delivers thrilling action and emotional payoffs, it also leaves us grappling with more questions than answers, especially concerning its continuity with Dragon Ball Super. From the moment DAIMA was announced, its place in the Dragon Ball timeline has been a subject of intense debate. Unlike previous spin-offs, this series attempted to blend elements from multiple eras of Dragon Ball, drawing from Dragon Ball Z, GT, and Super, all while introducing its own original concepts. Episode 20 encapsulates this fusion perfectly, showcasing an explosive battle against Giant Goma while also attempting to tie together various character arcs. However, rather than providing clear resolutions, the finale raises new uncertainties about the direction of the franchise. One of the most debated aspects is the role of Super Saiyan 4. With Goku fully mastering the form in DAIMA, the series presents the transformation in a way that suggests it was always within him. This directly contradicts Dragon Ball Super, where Goku clearly confirmed that Super Saiyan 3 was the last transformation he had in his pocket as the God transformations took center stage, leaving fans wondering how Super Saiyan 4 fits into the broader Saiyan evolution. Did DAIMA rewrite history, or does this indicate an alternative timeline? Additionally, the introduction of the Third Eye's magic has disrupted the established power structures within the Dragon Ball universe. This new force, capable of negating regeneration and altering the fabric of combat, poses significant questions about how it compares to divine techniques like Ultra Instinct or Hakai Energy. If the Third Eye's magic is so potent, why hasn't it been referenced in Dragon Ball Super? The ending of DAIMA shows us that it's clearly not something exclusive to DAIMA, nor that there's only one of these evil eyes. Does it mean that the Third Eye will carry over into future installments of the franchise until we see the very last of it? Ultimately, while Episode 20 delivers high-stakes battles and emotional character moments, it also amplifies the inconsistencies between DAIMA and Dragon Ball Super. Whether this was intentional, perhaps hinting at a larger multiversal plot, or simply a result of creative liberties, remains to be seen. Regardless, DAIMA has undeniably left its mark on the franchise, sparking discussions that will likely continue for years to come. Before diving deeper into the episode, if you're looking for a place to discuss all the hype, share theories, or just connect with fellow fans, join our Discord server, Hype's World. It's the ultimate hub for Dragon Ball enthusiasts. Don't miss out on the discussions, check the description for the link. The episode wastes no time as it skips the opening theme song and starts right where episode 19 ended. Goku comes out from behind the rocks as he stands tall in his newly awakened Super Saiyan 4 form. He powers up as he gets ready to take on Goma. Even Goma prepares himself to respond to Goku's attack. The intensity in his eyes reflects his determination as a silver glow engulfs his body, pulsating with raw primal energy. Without hesitation, he powers up, ready to take on the colossal threat that is Giant Goma. Goku hits Goma with a super punch that smashes him into the rocks, destroying the battlefield Goma made as he tastes Goku's primal power. Goma deflects Goku using his third eye powers, but Goku holds himself together and clashes fists with Goma once again. The two clash with a ferocity that shakes the very fabric of the battlefield, their strikes causing shockwaves that ripple across the landscape. From an animation standpoint, this sequence is a visual spectacle. The fluidity of Goku's movements and the sheer weight behind each punch are masterfully illustrated. The battle choreography is reminiscent of the best moments from Dragon Ball Super Broly, featuring dynamic camera angles that enhance the sense of speed and impact. The animators make excellent use of lighting and energy effects, with Goku's bright glow contrasting sharply against the darkened sky, emphasizing the grandeur of his transformation. Each impact feels visceral, with debris scattering realistically and Goma's expression showcasing the toll of the battle. As the fight rages on, it becomes clear that neither Goku nor Goma is willing to back down. The battlefield may be crumbling around them, but their resolve remains unshaken. Goku keeps hitting Goma with serious punches, including uppercuts and kicks, but Goma recovers his lost stamina using the third eye powers. Unwilling to let up, Goma summons his staff and creates a binding energy trap for Goku. Surrounded by countless energy blasts, Goku remains unfazed, effortlessly dodging every single one before launching a devastating counterattack. His fist connects with Goma's chest, sending the giant warrior flying backwards, crashing through layers of rock. Goku then increases his power and grabs onto Goma, trying to toss him over, but Goma hits him with nearby rocks that make him lose his grip. But Goku again hits Goma with a powerful punch that sends shockwaves in the entire demon realm, but Goma again uses the third eye powers and grows bigger. Goku and Goma both power up and clash once again, and once again Goku puts him down, but Goma gets up even stronger than before. As the battle reaches its climax, Goma roars with unbridled fury, his massive form surging with newfound power. The third eye on his forehead glows ominously, pulsating with an eerie energy that warps the very air around him. His body expands even further, his muscles bulging as his aura darkens, crackling with unstable energy. Goku, recognizing the immense threat before him, tightens his stance. His crimson fur bristles as he focuses, his crimson eyes locked onto his opponent with unwavering determination. Goma lunges forward, swinging his colossal fists with enough force to tear through mountains. Goku, however, moves with precision, weaving between the incoming strikes. He counters with a flurry of rapid rapid punches, each impact resonating with an explosive force that sends shockwaves through the battlefield. The sheer intensity of their clash fractures the ground beneath them, creating deep fissures that radiate outward like the scars of their battle. Goku dashes into Goma and forces him to the rocks, but Goma grabs his head and throws him deep into the ground. He again uses the third eye's powers to create a binding energy trap for Goku, surrounding him with exploding energy blasts, but this time, light rays come out of them as they chase Goku inside the confined space. However, that's not enough to put Goku down. He powers up and breaks free from the confined space, sending Goma flying afar. Goku continues to deliver punches on Goma, giving him no time to relax. He then finally throws him away, but again, Goma regains his strength using the third eye powers. Seriously man, this third eye is really something. My jaw's repeating the same thing again and again and again. But anyway, back to the episode. Goma refuses to yield, so Goku decides it's time for him to use the maximum power of Super Saiyan 4 to defeat Goma once and for all. Then, a sudden burst of light erupts from the smoke. Goku emerges, his aura even brighter, his primal power surging to its peak. His muscles flex as he lets out a powerful battle cry, shaking the demon realm itself. Goku launches his most powerful attack yet, devastating Super Saiyan 4 Kamehameha on Goma. Goma tries to counter it with another attack, but fails to do so and gets hit by it. The Kamehameha wave rips a hole in Goma's body, and it continues to make its way all through the second demon world and then the third demon world. Goku's Kamehameha was so powerful that it tore apart the demon realm itself. Before Goma could understand what hit him, Piccolo steps in, landing 2 consecutive strikes on Goma, but his third attempt is thwarted as the enemy shrugs him off. And again, Goma powers up using the third eye that heals him completely and restores the hole made by Goku's Kamehameha. With each regeneration, Goma grows stronger, amplifying his power beyond his previous limits. Everyone is worried as they're all out of options now that their only plan has failed. Goku is super exhausted as he doesn't know if he can keep up with the newly powered up Goma with whatever stamina he has left in him. The battle takes a dire turn until Majin Ku intervenes. In a display of raw strength and strategy, Ku lands 3 direct hits on Goma, each one weakening the third eye's hold. The decisive moment arrives when Ku tears the third eye from Goma's forehead, severing his source of regeneration and effectively ending his reign as Demon King. The third eye falls to the ground as Goma's size reduces to normal. Glorio doesn't waste a second and steps on the eye, destroying it once and for all, or so they thought. The sky changes back to normal and everyone starts celebrating their win. Ku gets the credit he deserves in putting an end to Goma's wrath. However, Ku gets out of the crowd to get back to his mistress Arinzu. Arinzu also shows him an appreciating gesture, and I really like this chemistry. This shows that Arinzu no longer considers Ku as one of her subordinates, but a team member. Goku comes down smiling as everyone is now relieved of danger, and that's where the first half of the episode ends. Episode 20 undeniably delivers on action, but its implications for the larger Dragon Ball timeline raise intriguing concerns. As a longtime fan, I find myself torn between appreciating the spectacle and questioning the long-term ramifications of what Daima introduces. Talking about the action, the fight choreography in this episode is among the best we've seen in recent Dragon Ball history. The battle between Goku and Giant Goma is a visual spectacle, blending high-speed combat with well-placed moments of weight and impact. The dynamism of the camera work and the use of lightning effects, particularly with Super Saiyan 4's radiant aura against the dark demon realm sky, make the clashes feel visceral and thrilling. It's clear that the animation team pulled out all of the stops for this finale, ensuring it stands out as a highlight of the series. However, the reliance on back and forth regenerations through the third eye feels excessive, diluting the tension at times. Each time Goma recovers, the excitement of Goku's powerful blows is undercut by the predictability of his opponent's resurgence. This cycle repeats so frequently that it starts to feel like an artificial extension of the fight rather than an organic escalation of stakes. Starting with the second part 2 of the episode, Goma is already a prisoner. It is Neva's magic that completely incapacitates him, which actually surprises Goma since he thought that the Namekian was senile. It really looks like even though he's been on TV for the most part of Dragon Ball DAIMA, Goma hasn't really paid attention to the multiple exploits of Neva. In any case, the fact remains that the King of the Demon Realm is no longer a threat. At this point, Arinzu and Marba show up with what seems to be Goma's punishment. He will be imprisoned in a container of sorts for 100 years. Well, given that he didn't actually try to kill Dende, Piccolo jokes with letting him out in 99 years. In all honesty, this joke might be the most that Piccolo has accomplished in Dragon Ball DAIMA. Right when it seems that Goma's punishment is about to be executed, Arinzu decides to include Degasu, that way Goma won't feel so lonely. At this point, there's no denying that Degasu is most likely the most pathetic villain in Dragon Ball DAIMA. He doesn't get anywhere close from his plan to become the King of the Demon Realm, and even though he had nothing to do with Goma's plan, he still gets the same punishment. He is definitely the worst of the 3 siblings. It's also interesting that the spell to seal both Goma and Degasu kinda looks like a Mufuba of sorts. Maybe yet another reference to a different Dragon Ball anime. With both Goma and Degasu out of the picture, there's of course a big matter to resolve. Who will be the next King of the Demon Realm? After all, Dragon Ball DAIMA was basically a race race between Goma, Arinzu, and Degusu to see who could gain and maintain the position of new king after Deborah's demise. And Daima had yet another big surprise in store for us. Even though Arinzu was the only one left from the main candidates, she isn't the one to get the throne. Even though Shin actually feels comfortable with his sister becoming the queen of the demon realm, it is Arinzu who refuses to take on the role. The reason is pretty clear. She doesn't think she is strong enough in order to keep the position of queen. After all, Dragon Ball DAIMA has shown she needed the help of 2 Majins in order to become an actual threat. So it really isn't that surprising that she doesn't feel up to the task after failing to get a power-up through the Dragon Balls, and that's when the magic actually happened. Thanks to Neva's knowledge of the line of succession within the Demon Realm, it is revealed that the next in line to get the throne of Demon Realm is actually the one who defeats the previous king. Therefore, given that Majin Ku ends up putting a stop to Goma's plans, he gets to be the king of the Demon Realm. The Majin shows himself incredibly excited for the opportunity, and all things considered, it is definitely redemption for a character that had accomplished much, but wasn't really acknowledged by those around him. At this point, Majin Ku just goes wild, appointing everybody to new positions, from Arinzu to even Pansy's father. Majin Ku starts forming a sort of council through which he will reign as king of the Demon Realm. Honestly, considering just how smart he's shown to be throughout Daima, it definitely looks like he has a plan. And at the very least, most of the people he appoints are actually accomplished in all sorts of different areas. Well, maybe not Majin Du, but the guy is still family. And maybe not Hybis. That guy traded the evil third eye for a hat. Overall, it definitely seems like Majin Ku could be a very good fit for the Demon Realm. Even though it is the Demon Realm, it doesn't necessarily have to be evil. And with people like Glorio and Arinzu by his side who seem to be able to make decisions for the overall good, the Demon Realm looks very promising under the rule of King Ku. After this, it is time to say goodbye, but not before receiving some interesting gifts. For one, Pansy fulfills her promise and provides her with all sorts of Magilite. Let's remember that this rare mineral is used in the Demon Realm in order to power most of the ships. That's the reason that Bulma couldn't fix the first ship we saw at the beginning of Dragon Ball DAIMA, so this will definitely prove useful in her future inventions. Then there's also the presents from Majin Ku and Majin Du, which are a bunch of giant cookies, or at least the ones that Majin Du doesn't end up eating. Then there's a very interesting conversation concerning Super Saiyan 4. Vegeta tells Goku that he had kept that transformation a secret from him, and Goku replies that after his fight with Buu he started training a lot, but he wasn't sure whether he could make it work. Does this mean that he knew that there was a higher power than Super Saiyan 3 waiting for him? Because if that were the case, it could definitely be quite troublesome in order to make it fit within the Dragon Ball Super continuity. In the end, the questions about Super Saiyan 4 still remain unanswered. There's also the conversation about Vegeta Super Saiyan 3, to which we also don't get an answer regarding why he doesn't use it again in Super. The only thing mentioned is that he doesn't like the name Super Saiyan 3, but rather Ultra Vegeta 1. Luckily, it doesn't look like the name will stick. Another conversation starts, this time between the Namekians. Even though Neva offers the 2 of them to live in the Demon Realm, which is actually where Namekians were originally born, the 2 of them refuse, given that they have things to take care of on Earth. Still, Dende suggests that those who lost planet Namek could be persuaded to start living in the Demon Realm since they are now nomads. It could be pretty interesting if the Demon Realm thrives again with all sorts of Namekians, especially now given that King Ku will actually make it a fair place for everyone to live in. Pansy's father uncovers at this point a big contribution from Goku to the realm. After his massive Kamehameha to Goma, which pierces all of the worlds in the Demon Realm, the air starts flowing better through the different worlds. Let's remember that initially, Goku and the others had problems while moving through the Demon Realm precisely because the air was so heavy that it made it extremely exhausting to fly for long periods of time. Nevertheless, it looks like no Majin has any trouble whatsoever now. At this point, everyone says their goodbyes, and Goku and the others get on a ship that Glorio drives, pretty much like in most of the anime. The Dragon Ball DAIMA ending starts playing, but the show is actually not over. After some credits, there's a final scene with Goku asking Glorio to visit the shop once again where they bought the Medibugs. Yes, those bugs that included the possibility of a fusion that never actually took place. But this time around, Goku seems interested in the bugs working as senzu beans, since it seems that they don't have that many on Earth. They finally get to the shop, and it's pretty surprising that for some reason the animation quality spikes at this point. All movements are incredibly fluid, and the overall look is way better than that of the last few minutes. The vendor obviously looks really confused at the fact that Goku is now much bigger than he was before, even asking if it was some sort of side effect from the Medibug. Still, Goku enters the shop together with Pansy and Bulma was actually shown on the ship to be quite concerned with her skin now that she is an adult again. But luckily, the Medibugs have the answer she needs, since there's one of them that takes 10 years off the skin. Bulma is obviously ecstatic at the news, and she decides to buy basically the whole bunch. There's nothing this woman won't do in order to look younger than she is. Vegeta most likely approves of this. Then there's the most shocking scene in the shop. The vendor actually has multiple third evil eyes. It turns out that the one that Goma had used, the same one that Deborah's father used long ago, was sold by this very same vendor. The shock is very obvious in all three characters, but with no further exploration of the matter, Dragon Ball DAIMA finally comes to an end. It doesn't look like the evil third eye will be a problem again, but DAIMA leaves a ton of questions unanswered at this point. The most obvious question right now is in regards to the Super Saiyan 4 transformation. Either Dragon Ball DAIMA comes back in the future, whether it is with a Season 2 or a movie, or the transformation is now a problem for the main continuity. There's just no way to fit together Goku's comments in his fight with Beerus at the beginning of Dragon Ball Super, stating that the Super Saiyan 3 was his final form, then him confirming to Vegeta that he had been training after the Buu fight and knew there was something else inside of him. If Dragon Ball doesn't deal with it sooner or later, it is definitely one of the bigger plot holes the franchise has seen so far. Still, that there's some stuff unanswered doesn't really matter when it comes to making happy announcements. With Dragon Ball DAIMA officially ending, multiple video games of the franchise have announced some very epic new content. For starters, Vegeta Super Saiyan 3 is actually coming to Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 as a DLC. Also, DBZ Kakarot has finally shown the trailer for the Part 1 of the Dragon Ball DAIMA DLC, which will be released this summer. But not only that, DBZ Kakarot has confirmed as well a DAIMA edition of the game, which will include the base experience together with the DAIMA DLC, which will be distributed in 2 different parts. If you want to properly check out all this stuff, you can watch through the links in the description. Finally, we cannot forget that the ending of Dragon Ball DAIMA actually matched the date of the anniversary of the death of Akira Toriyama. It was during the 1st of March 2024 that the creator passed away, with the news of his death being made public some days later. This news was incredibly shocking for millions of people around the world. Akira Toriyama had created a project that influenced many manga creators such as Eiichiro Oda or Masashi Kishimoto, but most importantly made a ton of people happy. It was really heartbreaking to know that Akira Toriyama would never get to see Dragon Ball DAIMA fully produced, or that he didn't even make it to the start of the celebration of the 40th anniversary of Dragon Ball, with projects such as the rework of the original Dragon Ball manga covers by many different mangaka finally completed. Still, this should not be a time to feel sad, but to celebrate. Once again, Dragon Ball has managed to provide an experience that brought together millions of people all around the world. It may not have been a perfect experience, especially due to the aforementioned inconsistencies, but it still managed to achieve the same best things that Dragon Ball always knew how to do best: to provide fans with a thrilling and unforgettable journey. Wherever Akira Toriyama might be right now, let's hope that he knows that he managed to, for the last time, bring joy to all his fans. And regarding what's next for Dragon Ball, at this point there's really no way to tell. We might be in for another long drought, given that there is no news of the anime or the manga coming back. Or maybe that Dragon Ball is preparing some sort of surprise to be unleashed rather soon. At the very least, the Dragon Ball manga returned a few days ago, through chapter 104, which will be included in the next Dragon Ball Super volume coming in April 2025. There's also the fact that Saiyan Day is coming on March 18th, which could also be a nice day to announce more content for the franchise. Dragon Ball DAIMA may have ended, and we are kinda aimlessly drifting right now, but have no doubts that Dragon Ball will come back to still cherish the world that Akira Toriyama created back in the day. If you enjoyed the video, please remember to like, share, and subscribe for more Dragon Ball content in the future, because just like Goku, we are not done.